Hello, welcome to Mini Math Lessons with Karen, and today this one is on slope. What is slope and how do you calculate the slope? So again, I've shared the link to this free activity in the description of the video below, and it's also on the blog post. So you just type or paste that URL into your browser. That pulls up the activity, and I'm just going to kind of walk through what this activity is about. The idea here is just for discovery and exploration with students. So there's some questions. So we have some pictures here, some real-world examples of what is slope. And so the first thing is asking them to kind of connect. Have you ever, wondered how steep a mountain is if you're climbing up a hill or down a hill, or if you see the road signs where it's, warning about a steep hill coming up, what does that mean? Well, that's the slope, how steep it is. And so, trying to give them some real world context to what a slope is. And so I've added in, these lines here to talk about slope is how steep, how steep is it to get this guy from point A to B? How high up does he have to rise, and how far over does he have to walk to get from point A to point B? And the same thing here with this car. What's the slope if I'm the car and I'm starting at point C and I have to go down, so rising down, I guess, and over to get to point D. So that's sort of giving them a visual of what slope is. And then we talk about, this introduces that this is a positive slope. He's going up and over, and this is a negative slope, and so they're going down and over. So what's the difference? And so the first part is just kind of what is slope? How does it connect to the real world? Write down your observations. Here's some questions to think about. What's the difference between positive and negative? Those types of things. So they're just kind of getting a sense of what slope is. Then as they move down, we're going to be a little bit more formal here. We're going to actually put a line, and you'll see this has a slope triangle where this green represents the rise that we have to do from one point to the other. So if I'm at point orange, I have to rise up and I have to run over. So the green represents the rise and the orange represents the run, and they can play around with this, and you'll see that everything kind of changes. And so they're just going to explore, here's the slope of this line. How is the slope changing as I move these points, closer to each other, or maybe I flatten it out. Now my slope is 0. What does that mean? Maybe I go vertical, and now I have an infinity or undefined slope. And, what happens if I change my line? Now I have a negative slope. So they're just going to explore what the different types of slopes are. How does moving these points change the slope? How can I use the coordinates at this point to figure out this? So it's just explorations that they're doing here. And again, so they can move things around. And as they make their observations, they're simply writing them here. Okay, and then we get into more formal. Okay, so you've had this exploration. You should now sort of know, when is a line going to have a negative? When's it going to have a positive? When's it going to have a 0? When's it going to be undefined? So we kind of have that understanding after we leave here. Now, how can we find the slope if all we have is these 2 points? And so we actually give them some calculations, and what they can do then is use their calculator tool here and actually test out, see if they can get this slope by using these points. And then again, as in before, they can then change the slope and try it again. So they're just going to be able to use this calculator to help them basically practice, can I find the slope if I know these 2 points? So we have an understanding of what slope is, and now at the end we're going to be actually seeing how well we can do trying to find the actual slope of a line if I am given 2 points. So just a quick exploration of slope, how to find it, what it is, and it's really about the questions and the students being able to explore. Have fun.